Our friend, the world famous Richard Toccato is here with us. And thank you so much for reaching out to Richard. He's telling us all the time about how many listeners are reaching out and saying, hey, show me about that refi, and let's do some stuff like that. That's the way you put it, though. Show me about that refi.
Show me about that refi. What you got about that refi? The cool thing is Ace has said, we have a lot of options, and we have, I'm doing refinances for people. We have people down in Greenville, North Carolina. We have them at the beach at South Carolina. We have them in Charlotte. And the main thing is to refinance, make their finances better, take the stress of every month. If I save them $700 a month, $800 a month, it's a big deal for them.
Yeah, it's a real big deal. $700 a month. That's fantastic. And again, we've talked about this before. Richard's a broker. That's how he gets more options than a bank. He can do more. Just go to homewithrichard.com to get started. Homewithrichard.com, the Richard Toccato Companies.
Hey, it's Ace, and for a long time, we've told you about Neogenics, Charlotte's most trusted stem cell clinic, and how phenomenal a job they did helping me with my left wrist. Well, this is Neil. Neil Simler is a member of the Ace and TJ Radio family. Neil, you took the free consultation to have them check out your elbow and talk about what happened just when you went for the free consultation.
They were very straightforward and let me know that they weren't going to treat any of my ailments if they weren't 100% sure that they were going to be able to effectively help my issue. And once were they pushy with trying to get me to spend more money and do, the higher end shots.
Now, 3 months later, how do you feel?
I'm 95% better, if not 100%. It's just been one of the best decisions I've made. Do yourself a favor, get out there as soon as possible.
Set up your free consultation today at acetj.com/neogenics. It's Neogenix. Neogenics, Charlotte's most trusted stem cell clinic.
Our nation's second president, John Adams, always slept on the left side of the bed. He believed this would increase his chances of having positive dreams and a more successful next day. That's why every mattress we sell here at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress includes a left side.
And for those that prefer waking up on the right side of the bed, our mattresses come with one of those too.
This President's Day, you can save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic sets. Only at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress.
Welcome to TJ's podcast.
Yes, this is the show where no subject is off limits. We'll go in any direction we choose. And remember, if it's interesting to me, it's going to be interesting to you. Okay. All right, let's get in it. I found a story while rummaging through things to talk about so you would have this fresh material while I'm on vacation. And I came across something that I have never, ever considered in my life. And I don't know why, because I usually think along these lines, which is, pretty much like off kilter. Like I usually think about things in a way that other people don't. And I don't know how this one escaped me. Okay. There is a network, so to speak. It's called Naked News, and it's been around for a long time. And it's exactly what it says. It's a news report, newscast where, they call them news presenters, in Europe and all. They're naked. So they sit at the anchor desk and they're naked, or they stand out when they're doing their report from, other parts of the studio. They call it a stand-up, where they have the full shot of them, like standing in front of a screen or something, and they're naked. So I was reading this one story that came out last week about a naked news presenter on Naked News. And she was talking about how, the typical stuff about how liberating it is and how empowering it is and, blah, 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 blah. So, that's a special talent to be able to take something that you're doing because it is, it's feeding some sort of a selfish desire. Like, for example, this, Naked News presenter, her desire is for people to see her naked. For whatever reason, that feeds her somehow. But so she takes that and then spins it into a way where not only is she presenting herself to be a victim because men objectify women and they look down on women, they don't respect women and all of that, and this is a way. So she gets that out there where men don't respect women and I'm a woman and so I'm a victim, and then she turns it into a champion move. So now I'm championing my own victimhood by stripping off my clothes and becoming empowered by this. So actually saying that if she's on screen giving the news naked, that it takes away some of the stigma of men looking at her and thinking nothing but sexual thoughts. It's twisted, but I mean that's pretty common nowadays. It's like when they women make a the reasons why they're on OnlyFans. It's like I'm living my true self and blah blah. Okay, but this was a different situation. This popped up as a related story when I was reading that other one. The other story is new. It's just out this week. This one was posted in July of 2023. And the headline reads, "I love stripping naked on stage, but it causes problems for my identical twin." Now hold on. In this article, it's from the Daily Star, so it's a British tabloid. It said, an erotic star says her identical twin can get into awkward situations due to her sexy career. Laura Desiree, who's a burlesque performer, YouTube star, and former Naked News presenter, says that her sister Sophie isn't as comfortable with nudity as she is. So I never thought about that. If you are an identical twin, and one of you goes around stripping your clothes off in public, then everybody who sees your identical twin knows exactly what you look like naked. How about that? So this woman loves people gawking at her and, oh, look at me, I'm naked. Look at me, I'm cutting edge. Look at me, I'm living my truth. Blah, blah, blah. I love it. But then her sister, who's, more modest, her identical twin is basically on display naked as well. Isn't that fascinating? It's crazy. Now, this woman is a performer and seems to be, pretty well known. So that means that when her identical twin meets a guy, before they're even close to being intimate with each other, he knows what she looks like naked. That does have to make for an awkward situation. And in the article, this woman says that she'll be doing a burlesque show or something, and she'll say, hey, to her twin sister Sophie, hey, bring your new boyfriend and come see my show tonight. And Sophie will be like, no, not doing that. He hasn't seen me naked yet. I don't want him to see me naked yet. That's just another interesting thing about identical twins. I'm fascinated by identical twins. I don't know sometimes whether I believe as many stories about, about them being miles apart and one of them hitting their hands with a hammer and then the other one feeling it too. I mean, I don't know how much I believe every one of those stories. I think there are a lot of those stories that are exaggerated. Not saying it doesn't ever happen. I'm just saying I think some of it is exaggerated. But, and maybe if you're an identical twin, as you know, an adult, for these purposes, maybe you can send a DM into TJ's podcast, being a fanatico and all, and tell me if that's true. That if somebody knows what your sister looks like naked, then they know what you look like naked. And people will probably say, "Well, we don't even think about it that much. Like you're putting all this thought into it." Okay, fair enough, but still, now I'm making you think about it. So, if there are identical twins in your family, and it's Thanksgiving, and the twins are married, when everybody gets together, then each one of them's husband knows what the other looks like naked. Right? And you can't tell me that doesn't pop into their minds. There's no way it doesn't. My wife has a younger sister. She's two or 3 years younger. I don't know. But I have no clue what she looks like naked. Not even the slightest idea. And I guess you're expecting me to say, nor do I want to know, but I'm not going that far. I mean, I might want to know. And is it same for guys? I'm not just talking about identical twin men too. So if, the identical twin men come over for Thanksgiving, do their wives know what the other looks like naked? Now, we always have heard stories, about twins, fooling their girlfriends or whatever and switching up and things like that. You hear about those kinds of stories and, in urban legends and things. And then guys will sit around and talk about, hey man, if you had an identical twin, would you want to swap girlfriends with them? I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think that's that's nice. It's actually creepy, but you can't help it if your spouse knows what you look like naked, so therefore would know what somebody who's identical to you would look like naked. I don't know if I'd be able to be around, Like if my wife were an identical twin, let's say my wife and her sister Christy, so it's Christy and Jody. If they're identical twins, and Christy's married to Chuck, my brother-in-law, I don't know that I'd want to be hanging out with Chuck and Christy that much. I'd be like, hey, stop imagining my wife naked. And then he'd say, well, stop imagining mine naked. And I go, okay, deal. Fair enough. That's gonna have my mind racing now. Every time I see from here on out, and I'm old. I'm 54, but I still should have a few. I mean, quite a bunch of good years left. With modern medicine and all. I'm never going to see adult married identical twins again without thinking about that. And depending on how many of them Miller Lights I done had, I may ask them about it. Would that be rude? To go, hey, I know we just met. You're Fanaticos, you're TJ Fanaticos. Thanks a lot for that. Thanks for filling out that little questionnaire at acetj.com/Fanatico. Love meeting you. Thanks for taking the pictures with us. It's awesome. Let me ask you something before you go. Do you ever think about the fact that you know what her identical twin looks like naked and vice versa? Well, it wouldn't be vice versa because the twin doesn't know what he looks like naked. But you know what I mean. Again, send a DM up in here if you have firsthand knowledge of this. Because this is the most excited I've been about hearing, something in the news in a long, long time. You think all that puffy stuff is exciting, Puffy Sean Combs. This is why there's a TJ's podcast for these kinds of things. For my unique way of looking at the world. Okay? And I thank you so much for being along for this ride. I really do. All right. So there you go. There's your fresh vacation material for today. Thanks for watching and listening and loving and doing. Love you. Bye.
Serving the world. It's TJ's podcast.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months, 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin.
Winter is here, which means you're just going to stay inside and not do anything fun and exciting, right? No, that is wrong, because this year you're going to go to acetj.com/Gaston and see all of the incredible things that you can do right now in Gaston County. Everything is laid out for you, from things to do, to restaurants, to bars, to shopping, to unique weekend activities. And we'll get you ready for the spring and the summer with a list of all their great festivals. Find all of this and much more at acetj.com/Gaston.
If you're so frustrated because you're having to run around all the time, you're so busy, you feel like you're not getting your family something great to eat, then you need Culver's. It's the perfect thing for you. Always made to order, fresh, hot ingredients all day, every day.
And not only do they have the freshest ingredients all day, every day, but they are a part of the community. They're proud to be a part of the Indian Trail community, where they're under new ownership. Belmont, University area, Salisbury. Make them a part of your daily routine. Make it your new neighborhood spot. Short waits for the freshest food in town. Get details at acetj.com/Culver's.